I concentrated on the pulse of one hand, then the other. Okay, heart vibrations. So let us start our uh, journey. Very good. Christina, you are in time now. Very good. Gen Zs are very busy, they are. So it's okay. So, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness and wholeness in all. And Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. So you say, for example, you practice in the morning and also before going to the bed, and during the day you forget. That is how we set the agenda of the day in our calendar or anywhere we do. We don't put the agenda that I should continue to remain in that state of invoking, recalling, remembering that let the peace manifest in everyone, including me. Let the happiness manifest in everyone, including me. Let the wholeness be expressed through me for the manifestation of the wholeness in others. I'm giving a different taste of it. And Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be an auspiciousness wherever I go, I interact with the people, event, and relations. So you do the practice in the morning and you do the practice. You can open your eyes, you can do the practice in the evening, but you forget during the day. Why you forget? Because of your default mind, because the unripe ego is taking over you. So that is already present inside, and so now you are talking. Then you will complain to me that I have done the practice and there is no change. How why it happens? You set an agenda that is purely objective. And when I say may there be happiness for all, this is subjective. You have to remember this. You have not to forget it. Huh? You have not to forget it. The moment you forget, then you will say it will take another 10 years. I was giving a private lesson yesterday. So that guy was saying that, 15, 20 years ago, you were, before that, you were not so clear, but now you are very clear. I said, I'm also evolving. As far as the expression is concerned, the state is already there. What is achieved. But the expression continues to change. Expression continues to change. The same thing should happen to you. You are keeping this, huh? Christina with the K. You are keeping with this Mangala Charan mantra all the time with you. You carry it forward, you invoke, then only the change will come. Otherwise, what will happen? Again, this same event with the mom. Mom will make you crazy. Why don't you make her crazy? May there be peaceful. We are going deeper, we are a seeker now. Are you understanding that point? There comes the principles of sama, dhamma, and uparati. Just see, picture a beautiful river when the water is calm, summer, reflections are clear. The river banks is the Dhamma, gently hold and guide the flow. And further upstream, the water withdraws into the serene mountain lake. So there is a continuous serene flow of the water. That is what the Uparama is. And then we are talking about the Titiksha, the fourth treasure in our life. Once you just open your iPhone and then you read the manual and now you can set your messages, you can set your call, etc., 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 etc. And we seldom forget. But why we forget these principles? Why we forget these principles? One answer, default mind. Second answer, unripe ego. Unripe ego is it starts seeking the pleasure. It becomes impulsive. It becomes habitual. We have to bring about a change into that. So sama is the tranquility of the mind, the ability to retain inner stillness. You don't get upset inside. Well, you're meeting your mom, so why you get upset? Now see, unripe ego. My mom is like this. Yes, welcome, Terry. I believe everything is okay. Yes, I was waiting for you to join. Yes. So, Dhamma is the mastery over the senses. So, what I was talking, Sama is the tranquility of the mind, the ability to retain inner stillness amid the world's noise. The people, event, situation will continue to change in your life. Every day it changes. So you are not carried away by that. That is the meaning of inner calm. Dhamma is the mastery over the senses. So you see the 2 points, you say, for example, you get crazy because the guy comes in front of you, any person. So now both are required, sama and dhamma. So I don't get disturbed inside. And then I apply the dhamma. Ah, manifestation, manifestation of peace is there, manifestation of happiness is there. It is not mechanical. It is not, impulsively you act and then you will be in sama and dhamma. Not possible. It means you are not changing your unripe ego. And oparama is the withdrawal to the self. So oparama comes in almost in the middle. It looks at the sama, it looks at the dhamma, sama, dhamma, and you are in the uparati. Uparati. But my friends, you should understand that the outer situation in the world of relations, people, uh, every day everything changes. Today you may not get internet or your internet speed is slow. Huh? Who was talking? Yeah. Somebody. Yeah, David was talking. So every day the world continues to change. There comes the fourth treasure, the titiksha. If you progress into these four treasures, not only it makes you a seeker, but you will definitely excel in your personal life, in your professional life, in your social life, in your family life. Choice is yours. Eastern wisdom says, if you look closely on logo on my website, my logo, it reads Sa Vidya Ya Vimuktai, a phrase from the Eastern wisdom. It means the knowledge is the knowledge only if it brings an end to the suffering, if it liberates, if it awakens you to the peace and happiness. The rest are secondary knowledge. Rest are lower knowledge. Lower knowledge are are good. Well, Stephen has his own business. Dennis has his own business. I have some level of expertise with the internet and all these websites. They are lower knowledge. Can the expertise in your profession help you to bring an end to the suffering? That is why it is a lower knowledge. Are you understanding? Are you clear? Christina, is your profession? I should not ask you, but still I'm asking. Is, is your profession helping you to get rid of, bring an end to the suffering, or it is increasing? So our focus, how we define, we say that knowledge of the Eastern wisdom is the only knowledge, or you can categorize that it is the highest knowledge that brings an end to the suffering. But then there is a process of applying that knowledge in your daily life. And we have been talking about it. Why? I know you will definitely ask why, or you may be thinking, this is not fair. You are saying that the rest are lower knowledge. You tell me you are expert in making cars like Elon Musk. Have you heard his interviews that he has a lot of stress? You're a great politician. Find out the politician who doesn't live in stress. Find out the experts in your profession. So lower knowledge does not mean that we do not demean it. We say this is secondary knowledge. Why? Because it doesn't help you to bring an end to the suffering. So Eastern wisdom says the Eastern wisdom is the knowledge that helps you to bring an end to the suffering and awaken to your real nature. That is why it is the highest knowledge. So your true self, why? Now again ask the why. Because this Eastern wisdom helps you to rediscover your unchanging real self. It helps you to drop the unripe ego and you go to the finest and highest. The ego constantly switches mask, unripe ego. Professional, parent, friend, but you are more than any mask. You recognize, you realize. Awareness is the silent observer that you recognize, and that helps you to get rid of the. Are you getting it? I believe so. But the lower knowledge, you make me crazy. No, higher knowledge. There is a corresponding emotion, feeling, label, impressions in me which triggered in your presence. That is why I think that you made me crazy. So if I remove those corresponding negative emotions from my mind, I'm not crazy, whether you come or you don't come. Are you getting it? That is the tiksha. So you recognize those disturbances and then you say, no, you endured it. You endured it. You endured it. Can you see the beauty of the journey? Oh, so it means I can be in that state of the sama and dhamma and uparama by applying the titiksha in my personal life, in my professional life, in my social life, in my family life. The unripe ego clings and reacts. The ripe ego serves and stays calm. So that is why I brought this topic. Ripe ego goes with the titiksha, endurance. Endurance or titiksha means facing opposites with composure, not resistance. But if you don't follow samadama and uparama, titiksha will not work. Why titiksha network? Then you will have a lot of suppression. No, I didn't say anything, he kept on reacting and he kept on abusing me. You are weak. That is why you didn't say anything. Oh, so should I fight? No. Apply samadhama pramantitiksha. Understand clearly. You have to be very clear. I'm not saying that you have to fight. You have to remove all the mask. Now, mask is removed. You have samadhama and uprama, and now you work with it in your personal life, professional life. So, what prevents you? Default mind versus the discerning intellect. I already discussed ego, ripe versus unripe ego. The unripe ego attaches to external factors, causing stress, duality. Eastern wisdom brings an end to the suffering. That is why it is subjective. So unripe ego becomes the ripe ego, remains as a necessary tool for functioning, not as a master. You abide in sama, you abide in dhamma, you abide in uprama, and then you recognize then there is a fourth treasure. Oh, I bypassed. I was, my mind was so crazy looking at you, for example, looking at any person with whom you are jealous or you reacted. Now you are able to maintain it. Inner calm, outer expression is the Dhamma, continuous nature of the Uparama, and then you have that is what we know is the endurance. We want to drink a coffee. So I need ego to drink coffee, but anxiety from not being noticed is unripe ego. There the endurance works. It is just a cognitive understanding. It is cognitive awareness, not CBT. Totally different from CBT, what Christina applies to her lines. So basically, it is a movement. Titiksha is a movement from reaction to recognition to realization. You have a reaction, you recognize it. The moment you recognize it, you have a higher level of self awareness, and that introduces your mind, samadhama and uparama, and ultimately you realize here is an endurance. Here is an endurance. Pay more attention. You have to. Titiksha is endurance with wisdom. I tolerated you because you are my teacher, you made me crazy. No, don't tolerate. Apply titiksha. You have every right to put a question. What you are saying is not right according to me. Can you explain it further? But if you hold on yourself, then there is no, neither I get the information from you, and then you are suppressing yourself. So titiksha is endurance with wisdom, not with resistance or suppression. It is a conscious choice to remain. Can you complete it? It is a conscious choice to remain in samadhama and uprama. You see that? Titiksha is the cultivated endurance, resilience and forbearance. I'll explain each term. To face the unfavorable conditions in your life, or favorable also. Because if it is constantly favorable, huh, if one comes to you and praises and appreciates you every time for about 5 weeks, on the sixth week he doesn't appreciate you, you will feel bad. So Tidiksha is the cultivated endurance, it is resilience, it is also equanimity to face unfavorable and favorable conditions in your life. Whether it's a pleasure or pain, praise or blame, success or failure, without inner hesitation, complaint, or suppression. After 5 years, one woman stopped attending the session, private session, that gives me enough to survive. But I said, that's good. So I only asked that, are you able to maintain that level of calm and peace throughout the day? She did not answer. Like putting on a, yeah, I gave an example. I gave an example of that blanket. Yeah, I will talk about that for a while. So, what is the core principle of titiksha? Allows one to maintain sama, dhamma, and uparama, internal and external calm, and ongoing tranquility in every activity. Don't get upset. You have to go and meet someone, then you get excited. No, in your personal professional life, you already have a knowledge. Work on it before. When a colleague criticizes you, rather than burning inside or retaliating, apply titiksha by pausing, retaining your peace, and viewing the situation with equanimity. That is titiksha. Very subtle, very important. Titiksha is a voluntary self voluntary. It's voluntary. I apply to myself. I don't apply, I get upset. Then I have to suppress in some situation and I have to react in other situations. But here we are not. Here we are not. Titiksha, endurance. One word, that fits, but many other words. Endurance, resilience, equanimity. That is why I like to explain the inner strength beyond circumstances. Can I say, can you define titiksha, the inner strength beyond events converted into incidents? I discussed that in detail. Titiksha is derived, see the ti. It means to endure. In Sanskrit, the syllable ti means endure, to bear. And ach, titiksha, to bear, to endure hardship, to endure hardship. But to endure hardship not by suppression, to endure hardship in the state of samadhama and uparama. That is what titiksha is. Titiksha. You should not have it. Just to take an example, that now what, you may have any disease, you don't have a choice but to endure. Even after taking pills, you have to endure those symptoms. Or someone in the family who has a typical attitude. They don't want to study Eastern wisdom. They don't want to change. They always complain and blame you. What should you do? Endurance, titiksha. Why? That is the best way to live. Now I will teach him or her a lesson. No, you cannot teach. it is always a failure. Huh? Am I right, Christina? Dago. It is always a failure. No, I have to change myself. So titiksha is endurance. So when we talk of endurance, the sustained capacity to withstand unpleasantness and hardship without suffering internally. Without while I'm not suffering internally because I have a sama and dhamma outside. I'm not hesitated because you are present before me. Just an example, situation, an event, every situation. You are also not trying to oversmart that situation. Oh, let me see. So if you try to oversmart that, that means you have already a complex, you have an unripe ego that is causing the problem. The life inevitably presents difficulties in the pairs of opposites that challenge mental balance. It is always there. It is always there. Father was very tough. Whose father? Buddha's father. Our fathers also have been very tough. So Buddha's father was extremely tough. There was another great master, Mahavira, equal. They are more or less they are equal to Buddha. So there now you see the two situations and how they were great seekers. It just got into my mind. But father was not only strict, but he didn't allow him to practice meditation or Eastern wisdom in the kingdom. So he has to leave it. He has to leave. So with that great endurance gave him the power of detachment. So in the midnight, he saw his wife and son and he said goodbye. He did not react. He got awakened, he returned to the kingdom again. That shows that he had that power of endurance. Did you get it? Now look at the Mahavira and other situations. Every situation is different. Outwardly, the journey may be same. For Mahavira, he was also a great master. So he went to his father. He said, "Dad, I have to practice meditation. Oh, when I will, but you have to become the king. So when I die, you will do it." Okay. So he died. So his Mahavir's older brother became the king, and he went to his brother. So now will you allow me to practice? Yes, you can do it, but let me die first, and then you can do the practice. But he did not reject. They were doing the practice. So at least for 10 years, he was practicing Eastern wisdom in the palace. After that, he left. Apply the now understand that this is what the titiksha is. Endurance is not just a passive tolerance, but an active, conscious fortitude. Through endurance, the mind becomes stable and less disturbed by the external fluctuations. So what it means, endurance to withstand all forms of challenges in life, physical challenges, mental challenges, emotional challenges, relationship challenges, professional challenges, social challenges, including heat, cold, pleasure, pain, honor, dishonor. Pratiksha is one of the very higher level of the treasure. If you don't follow that, your mind is not prepared and you cannot reach to that state of awakening. Like a change of weather, You cannot stop the cold wind or blazing sun, but you can wear the right blanket of awareness. What I said, you can wear the right blanket of awareness. Titiksha is the inner blanket, keeping you calm and steady amid all the seasons in life. All the seasons, all the seasons, all the seasons. It's not about ignoring pain or pretending to be unaffected. When I pretend to be unaffected means that is why I brought the topic of unripe ego. The unripe ego is, is almost, I'm suppressing. I feel lonely and I feel I have a lot of problems. It is the strength of one who faces life without inner disturbances. The wise do not fight the storm. My master used to say, they sail with a steady hand. When you stop complaining and start understanding, endurance becomes your teacher, transforming trials into transcendence. That is the beauty of it. Did you, did you? I believe you get it. It is, when you stop complaining, that is why I have been saying you that you stop blaming and complaining and reacting to the outer situations. You have converted event into an incident. And now that you feel that incident is chasing you. Somebody didn't appreciate you, you remain disturbed for 3 days. When you stop complaining and start understanding, endurance becomes your teacher, transforming trials into transcendence. Trials, these are the trials. Then only we become the highest seeker. Then you simply listen to it, you understand it, you apply it. Within weeks, we reach to the higher state. Okay, that is all I have to say today. Anyone who wants to come out, reflect. Yes, Stephen, you want to reflect first.
Thank you, sir. I found today's talk to be extremely powerful. I went to sleep last night. Well, before going to sleep last night, I was reflecting on the topic of the six treasures, four of the six at this point, and I'm reflecting on myself and the changes since we started this topic of how the stress is dissipating, how the calmness is changing, and I kept asking myself, what's the change? What's really happening here? And in today's talk, it became very clear. Titiksha is allowing me to really respond and not react. And it's not and it's not just, originally when I talk about the responses, this outer attack, the outside world that's coming at me, but it's not. It's everything. It's whether I wake up with a headache, or whether my allergies are bothering me, or if there's physical pain, or whatever it is. I'm not allowing any of that to define me, and it's what's bringing this calmness. So I'm getting it. So thank you very much.
Yes, you rightly said. It has nothing to do with the reaction, but it has more to do with there is a reaction, you recognize, you turn to the Samadhamano Brahma, from reaction to recognition to a realization that my nature is already calm and peace. What I have to do with the crazy events outside, I have to do nothing with it. That's one way to put it. How are you, Dennis?
Um, my summary of today's session is that the Diksha helps us to maintain samadhama and uparaman, not by suppression or inner struggle, not by pretending that there are no problems. not by lying to myself that I'm in peace while in fact I'm not, but by understanding, by following the right knowledge, by making conscious choice to remain in peace rather than get carried away by thoughts and reactions of the mind, regardless of outer challenges.
Beautifully said. This is one way. So this is one expression, and another expression you can add, it is to get rid of this unripe ego. That also is the other way. Beautifully said. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. The combination recently of your guidance for me relative to the journaling process and looking at the what I call the ecosystem of the six treasures, all interrelated, and they're like, work in unison, be forming, is so there's the study of that and the understanding of that, and then there's the daily application of it, and the awareness of how we are in certain moments has been extremely helpful. So I just want to thank you for that.
Yes, that's the right approach. Yes, you journal. I do it for 5 minutes. I got from I try the new ways. You have those agenda today. I always write it down. Okay, this is what happened. These are the main events, and this happened. I remember that. And then I said, what happened to me? If I was, yes. Did I apply Samadama and Uprama and Titiksha? Yes. And then I check, everything is so smooth in life. Yes. Journaling part is, as you mentioned, is also very important. Whether you do it mentally or you do it by writing, it depends on you. It is going to definitely help and evolve you. Yes, that is beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Thank you, sir. I'm good. I feel like the Didiksha gives us that opportunity to question and the space to notice what's going on so that we're not ignoring. And we have opportunity then to choose the response. And in that response, we grow and there's freedom there. So otherwise, if we're reacting, then we know that we need to step back and go and get our sama and our dhamma and our parati and then get back to the endurance. So.
Yes, you are pointing out where I got some thought that one of the major reason for failure in your personal, professional, social, and family life is the absence of addiction. You have to think like this. How are you, Christina Rago?
Thank you. I feel like today I caught a blind spot because when I heard, apply to Tiksha, I think I find myself where I move into a passive state when I notice the anxiety come up or some reaction, and I'm not actively taking action, and that I became aware of that today.
Beautifully, beautiful. Yes, that is the most important, whether it's an unripe ego, well, okay, I have not to say anything, then I'm passively almost suppressing that. I'm holding that, I'm ignoring, I'm rejecting. Whom I'm rejecting? I'm ignoring and rejecting myself. It is not a rejection of others. That is what the Christina is pointing out. Very important. So she used the word blind spot. Yes, we all have a blind spot, especially with the near and dear ones. I don't want to say anything. Why? Because the reaction going on inside you, and you are holding it back. And then you suffer. Yes, another Christina.
Thank you, Girish. Throughout this week so far, understanding, the ego to be able to destroy it, which is the ego is from your last lesson of the ego trying to replace the previous ego to replace the previous ego. And then today's lesson of the endurance through Tatiksha, I'm coming to understand, just as example, yesterday, I was prepping the house and getting the linens ready and getting the guest bedroom. I was thinking we were having company over the weekend. And my honey forgot to tell me that they aren't coming anymore. So I had spent, the whole morning prepping the house. And when he told me, I immediately just realized and had the endurance, which I was more understanding today, to just say, okay, very good. Well, the house needed cleaning anyways, and things needed to be fluffed. So, and it didn't affect me, but the old me, it would have been, oh, I wasted all of my time doing this, but there was none of that. So thank you for bringing this topic into, yeah.
Christina, beautiful. If the Gen Z has this kind of a wisdom, the entire country will transform. Gen Z should have that kind of a wisdom. And it is very easy for the Gen Z to absorb this wisdom. Why? Their mind is still empty. Our mind, 50, 60 years of habitual and impulsive nature, isn't it, Kristen? Another Kristen, we have already deposited and accumulated so many impressions. Beautifully, continue to do that. Never miss that. And that is also going to build a good relationship. It will reflect on your partner. Oh, look at this, And that reflection is going to build a good relationship. Because of your wisdom, he will not dare to react. But there is other ways, you become angry and upset and you are ready to fight. So even that is another situation where nobody is ready to talk to you. But this wisdom, by the wisdom you hold back, it is going to change not only your life, but lives of others. How are you, Barbara? No, we don't hear you.
I'm good, thank you. I like very much what you said, that the wise do not fight the storm, because you cannot. If you approach the storm with an inner and outer calmness, you can survive it and come out stronger.
Beautifully said. What a beautiful phrase. That is why I said that you should listen to this entire session, not because I talked about it, because now you are contributing. Yes, you can fight the storm better. And I remember my master used to say that there used to be a snowstorm for 5 and 6 feet of the snow in the Himalayas. So he used to say that he used to live alone in that 14,000 feet in the Himalayas. So he used to say that when we saw that there is a storm, we used to hide in the cave. We waited for the storm to go away, to calm down. And then I used to come out. Means that in the state of samadhama and uparama, I hide myself into the cave. So sometime we need to follow that approach also with people, with professional life, with social life. I believe you are getting it. I don't want to explain further. Vaibhav.
Thank you, sir. So today mind was recalling some of the events where I should have ripe ego and should have endured, where I've reacted. So
Yes.
I will be more mindful about those instances in future.
Beautifully said. I reacted too much against my dad, and gradually I learned because I was going to my master. And then after that, every time my dad called me and I said, first, dad, first thing first, can I give you a cup of tea first before we talk? I always said this. And his hesitation, his reaction used to calm down. So I learned the different ways. So that is how you have to also apply in a different situation, especially with the near and dear ones. Maybe your honey, maybe your partner, maybe your son and daughter. Huh? Daughter. So daughter is reactive. It's better not to say, but to ask a question. Oh, daughter, can you teach me? Close your eyes. Let us. So I think we all are ready. Don't go away. We will complete this meditation practice. Close your eyes. The stage one is the place, position, and posture. Place, position, and posture, I said. You become aware of the place of the body and the place where you are sitting. Remember, both the place should be place of the body, place of the position, and the posture. That is the first step. You move the mind on the entire body. I can say in other way, check it. Are you getting it? Are you feeling it? Move the mind on the skin of the entire body from the top to the toes in experience. You already remember. Do you remember? Experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. If you don't experience, you have to repeat it again and again. Why? To help your mind to rise in awareness. So what will happen? By rise in awareness, you can experience that. Third level being carefree. Carefree. So I linked this being carefree in your session with observer and observed, with the two things. Why there is an unripe ego? Because my ego is obsessed with the objective world. My I, obsessed with the objective world, is the unripe ego. That same I, if I use the same phrase, obsessed with the subjective world, I'm awakened. The first step is observer and observed. We have already. Now help mind settle into. Now the four things, samadhama, upanama, and didiksha. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Why I added the Mangala Charan mantra into the meditation? Your mind says it, you become aware of it. What you become aware, may there be happiness for all. At least that unripe ego, which is seeking something outside, default mind, which is impulsive, comes down. If it comes down, you are applying it. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Another reason, my friends, you should reflect on this. You said it, may there be peace for all. Otherwise, if we have some jealousy, reaction, hatred against someone, that image is already present in the default mind, so it returns with that, and then your meditation fails. So we don't want the meditation should fail. Sarvesham, Sarvesham, Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. How can I see that you all are complete? I see the expression. My master is manifesting through you all. How can I blame and complain my master whom I love so dearly? So my complaint and blame is gone, reaction is gone. Understand that clearly. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, may there be auspiciousness for all. How my master is manifesting in all of you. So there is a natural state of auspiciousness. I'm skipping again. I told you that we'll be doing a longer practice. I'm skipping 2 steps. Stage number 2, looking deep inside the forehead in the space, and then start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath into the entire rib cage only, while keeping the body in the state of sensation, comfort, and still. Long, deep, and hissing breath into the rib cage means that your rib cage expands and contracts. Total contract is squeezing and expansion with a focus. Focus simply means that you are aware. You are aware of looking inside. You are of what it means by inside. You are looking aware away from the world. That is what it means by inside. If you are 100% clear about every step, you are already awakened. But we are making it clear by applying the different principles. Continue deep, silent, and slow. Here, breathing long, deep, and the hissing into the entire rib cage. It expands, it contracts. In the state of place, position, and posture, in the state of and now stop this breathing. When you stop the breathing, just keep on observing, noticing how your breath returns to its normal pattern. That will help you to notice the flow of the breath. Flow of the breath means the presence. You are observing, you are feeling. But then we added the point of wisdom that check. If the flow of the breath through both the nostrils are equal, even if your surface mind is not aware, you are already deeper. That is the point of awareness. Continue to just awareness of the flow of the breath. I'm skipping 2, 3 steps of the stage 2. We are moving into stage number 3. Flow of the breath, you're watching, feeling the flow of the breath. Breath is going in and out. Breath is going in and out. So just check it. Can you drop Om Shanti on the flow of the breath? That's another new step that we have added before that. So what is going to happen, which happened to one guy who shared the experiences in a group session where Dennis translates. He said that his body became like a rock, no movement at all. He was totally absorbed deeper within. It happens. That is one experience, but other experiences also happens. So we are in the stage 3 space. You see the space, you're dropping the Om Shanti. And now is the time to drop the Om Shanti on 16 segments of the fingers. After all, you become aware of one segment. Aware means you feel, you know, you experience. It happens in a fraction of a millisecond, and there you drop Om Shanti, and the mind moves to the second. Is that the way your mind is following the journey? Or you forget in the middle, no issue, even if you forget. Even if you forget, even if you forget, no issue at all, no issue at all. Continue the practice. Eyes are closed. You are dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. And now leave that step also. Move the mind inside the heart. Visualize the triangle. Dropping Om Shanti on each side of a triangle, clockwise and anti-clockwise, to check if the mind is truly absorbed deeper within. You're not shaking your body. And if there is a sync, that is the right point where you sing mentally, pushing the mind deep inside the cave of your heart. And mind seems to stop. You say Shanti and now self-absorption. So there is a transition from the stage 3 to the stage 4 of self-absorption and waiting. In that waiting period, you have unusual experiences. We will do that. I told you, if we do it for a longer practice, it happens in every session. So you may have vision, colors, or body, sensations, coolness. So, but you are not doing anything. There is a kind of self-absorption. Patanjali says, knower and the known, they are absorbed, or mind is dissolved. So that is the conscious self-absorption. And now reciting the mantra mentally or loudly as the case, as you feel. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Is your mind trying to trigger you? Let us return. It has been so long. Or your mind wants to remain into that state. That also defines your practice. So now be aware of the right hand. You find the Samadhama Uprati is there. Be aware of the left hand, left palm. All four are there. If fourth one is there, then you can continue to be in the state of meditation for another hour. And now lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms and stay there. After opening the eyes inside the palms, over the eyes, your experience, and then bring the hands down. Yes, Brandy, how are you?
I'm so confused by the time change. This is the first time this has happened to me in 5 years of meditating with you. I was so excited to come this morning and then I came at the end. I'm fine. Thank you.
A change of time is to blame.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm to blame. I don't know.
Yeah. Now you got the timings, you got it right. Yeah. We are not to blame. We are seekers of Eastern wisdom. So How are you, Stephen?
I'm good, sir. Thank you. My meditation was very deep. I heard every single word you said. And I was like split. I heard everything you said, and at the same time, I was completely absorbed into whatever space we were following. Even to the point to when we started singing the mantra at the end. That's usually the point where I come out of meditation. But it wasn't until you said to put your hands over your eyes is when I finally came out of the meditation. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes, that is what, it happened. I was explaining that when your mind withdraws within, it means it has left, unripe ego has left, the default mind has left. You feel that your body has become like a rock and you don't want to come out of it. Yes, that's a beautiful way to put it. How are you, Christina, with K?
Thank you. Yeah, just a deep, relaxed, solid calmness and almost otherworldly, it felt like.
Yes. You have to live into this state until Monday. You have to promise to yourself. But what will happen if my mom comes? That you have to tackle. How are you, Dennis?
My meditation was very peaceful. There was some sensations in the body after the breathing, and the breathing was equal. And then at the end, it felt like the mind was kind of blank or empty, and I could definitely stay much longer in that state. Thank you.
Yes, that's a good point. I spoke about it during the practice of meditation, so I'm repeating it again, and just contemplate and reflect on this. The intellect, along with the mind and senses, are obsessed with the external world, unripe ego. I'm using the obsessed for on a positive note. The same intellect, now it is obsessed with the internal world. It bypasses the mind and the senses and the objects of the world. That emptiness we are talking about in Eastern wisdom. Normally, the room is empty of all the objects, and now room is empty. So we try to figure out, is the emptiness of the mind we are talking? No. Did you get it? The intellect is totally obsessed, for example, with sama, dhamma, and uparama. You need not to worry about anything of the external world. Think, contemplate, reflect. We are moving slowly into the higher domain. How are you, another Christian?
Thank you, Girish. As you started the Mangalacharam, I had felt this warm, fuzzy blanket be wrapped around me with your voice and the mantra, and I did not realize I thought I turned off the AC thing in here, but I accidentally turned it down really low, and I did not realize my hands were so cold, like they're freezing right now, but I didn't notice until you said bring the awareness on the hands. I was like, why do my hands feel numb? So it was very peaceful, and thank you.
Yes, mind was also absorbed. So when mind gets absorbed, you have those feelings of cold, extreme cold, sometimes extreme sweating also happens. Sometimes we feel a levitation. So we just let them come and let them pass. But that's a good experience. David and Jerry.
Thank you. Just the beginning part of the meditation, a thought came up and I immediately stopped it and said to myself, this is my recharge. This is my battery recharge session. I need to focus on calmness. And then through that, I said to myself, calmness is my superpower. And that was kind of the theme for the meditation. It was extremely deep and peaceful, and I feel recharged. Thank you.
Yes, yes. We can also use the same phrase, the calmness is my superpower, and then be aware of within you. Does it align with that superpower or not? If it doesn't align, you have to make it align. Yes, Jerry.
Thank you, sir. Meditation was deep, absorbed. No real comments. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes. How are you, Terry?
At one point, I think you said the mind is dissolved, and that I noticed that because I don't had very few thoughts that I so few that I noticed when they occur.
Beautiful. That is good. Yes, you understood that point. When I say the intellect, or you can say the mind is absorbed into nothingness, Buddha says, that is also the emptiness. So when the nothingness comes, when the same mind with its I-ness drops, the entire objective world, I-ness and mindness, that is your unripe ego. So that is how I define emptiness, not the emptiness in the objective world. Emptiness is totally different in the Eastern wisdom. We are approaching there. Yes, Barbara.
My meditation was very peaceful and very calm, and I did not want to leave.
Oh, that's really good. So we should, we just did it for 30 minutes, but if we did it for another 45 or 50 minutes, then we will see. And then you have to find little more time for this meditation. The entire world causes the problem, and still we want to remain engaged with the entire external world. Can't we find little more time to be? I believe so. It is possible. Vaibhav.
Thank you, sir. So mind became really calm. It's like mind was seeing the thoughts, but it was not associating or attaching with those thoughts. So it was inside, it was free, and still the thought was there. So it was very calm.
Let everyone, and you should also contemplate on this phrase you said. There were thoughts, but I am just seeing. I see the walls of the room in the picture in the monitor, but it's okay. My mind is still empty. Is it possible? Yes. That kind of awareness we need to awaken in a higher meditative state. That will help us to go for what we say the spiritual consciousness. That is all for today. Thank you very much. We will meet again Monday.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.